Have you ever been on a short final or base to final on a circle or a visual and notice your airspeed window on the flight guidance panel has jumped to 180 knots? This video is going to show you why that happens. Hi folks, Dan Palumbo here. I want to show you something interesting. We're going to be doing the localizer runway 27 with the circle to land 18 right. But that's not what I'm showing you here. What I want to show you is something interesting that happens to this airspeed window. This probably happened to you and you might not know why. We're going to show you today how and why this could happen. We're on the localizer, on our way to the next waypoint, which is grind. We're fully configured, geared down, full flaps, and we're showing 148 knots. Our ref speed today is 138. 138 plus 10, ref plus 10, 148. That's where we need to be. When you are making a circle and you are starting a descent, or at any time, if you're starting a descent, could be a visual. You're starting a descent, you take it off the autopilot, the auto throttles are still on, you make that descent and you say to yourself, you know what, I descended, I'm a little too low, I don't like this. So you arrest the descent, and now you're holding your altitude. And then you might say to yourself, you know what, I'm still a little low, I want to climb a little bit. So you pull the nose up, you climb another 100 feet, and then all of a sudden, that airspeed window shoots up to 180. And then the auto throttles, since they're on, come up to match 180. And the reason it says 180 is because you have the flaps set. The flaps at 39 degrees, maximum flap speed at 39 degrees is 180. So it's not going to give you anything more than 180. If you had the flaps 20, it would say 220. But you're coming in for a landing, you're making your base to final on a visual or a circle, whatever, same thing, visual and circle. And then you want to arrest the descent and maybe you start to climb a little bit, 100 feet. The airplane thinks you want to do a go around. You want to do the missed approach. So the airspeed window is going to jump to 180. The throttles are going to come up and you're going to be way too fast and you're going to end up way too high and you're going to be way down the runway where you don't want to be. We're about coming up on IPEPI. We'll go down to 1,020 feet, which we'll do that now. 1,020, that's the minimum. I'll vertical speed this. And then of course we're looking for 2.3 miles from the runway, and then we'll make a turn to the right, 45-degree angle, to about 315 degrees. But anyway, so you're going to make that base to final, and you raise the nose a little bit, and then gain a little altitude. It's going to shoot to 180 knots because the flaps are set at 39 degrees. In any case, I'm going to demonstrate that to you.
1,000.
So we're coming up 2.3 miles. We're going to make our turn. Again, we're not interested in the localizer procedure or the circle. I want to show you what happens to that airspeed window when you take it off the autopilot, keep the auto throttles on, and start your descent. And then we'll arrest that descent and climb. And when we climb, watch what happens to that window. It may or may not have happened to you, but if it happens to you in the future,
Minimums.
you got to make sure that you're right on speed by taking the auto throttles off. All right, so here we are. We'll make the turn back to 273. I see runway 18 left, 18 center, and 18 right way out there. We're going to be landing on 18 right. So we're coming up on 18 left. There's 18 center. I'm going to take it off the autopilot and start down at about 400 feet a minute. There we go. On my way down. Good. Might even start my turn toward the runway. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm a little too low.
500.
So you know what? I'm going to arrest that descent a little bit. Hell, I'm going to start to
400.
climb. I don't like where I'm at. So I'm trying to climb. Look at that airspeed window. Jumps to 180. Look at those throttles coming up really quick. Airspeed's increasing. I'm going to 150. And look at this. I'm way too high and way too fast. This would definitely be a go-around. But the reason that airspeed jumped to 180 is because of the flaps set at 39, and I not only arrested my descent, I started a climb, and the airplane thought that I wanted to do a missed approach. So if that ever happens to you, that's the reason why. Have fun. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, and as Victor told me to tell you, ring that bell.